Hello. Today we are going to follow the Gospel according to St. Matthew in chapter 8, from verse 5 to 17. At that time, when Jesus entered Capernaum, a Roman officer approached him, pleading, "Lord, my servant is in bed at home, suffering terribly from paralysis." Jesus replied, "I will heal him." The officer said, "Sir, I am not worthy for you to enter my house. Just say one word, and my servant will be healed. For I am also a subordinate and have soldiers under my command. And I say to one, 'Go,' and he goes, and to another, 'Come,' and he comes. And I say to my slave, 'Do this,' and he does." When Jesus heard this, he was astonished and said to those who followed him, "Truly, I say to you, I have never found anyone in Israel who has so much faith. I tell you, many will come from the east and the west, and will sit at the table in the kingdom of heaven, along with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, while the heirs of the kingdom will be thrown out into darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth." Then Jesus said to the officer, "Go, and let it be done as you believed." And at that very hour the servant was healed. When Jesus entered Peter's house, he saw his mother-in-law lying down with a fever. He touched her hand, and the fever left her. She got up and began to serve him. When evening fell, they brought many people possessed by the devil to Jesus. He cast out the spirits with his word and healed all the sick, so that what was said by the prophet Isaiah might be fulfilled. He took our pains and carried our infirmities. Word of salvation. Glory to you, Lord. St. John Chrysostom. Some say that he expressed himself like this to excuse himself for not taking it with him. It was not possible to bring the suffering one, because he was in the last anguish to expire, and I say that this is a sign of great faith, because, as he knew that a single order was enough to cure the sick person, he considered it superfluous to take him there. Just as what the leper had said, speaking of the power of Jesus Christ, "If you wish, you can heal me," is confirmed by the word of the Savior who says, "I will, be clean." So also here, not only did he not blame the centurion for what he said of his power, but praised him. He did even more, and the evangelist, signifying the intensity of the praise, says, "Jesus hearing it." But why did he enter Peter's house? It seems to me to eat, because it is added, "And he got up and served them." He stopped at the house of his disciples to honor them, and thereby make them more anxious. Consider St. Peter's respect for Jesus Christ. Having his mother-in-law at home with a fever, he did not make her come, but waited for the preaching of the doctrine to finish and for others to be cured. He had learned from the beginning to give everyone else preference over himself. So he does not even give him an indication, but the Lord was spontaneous. After the centurion said, "I am not worthy that you should enter my house," manifesting how much he distinguished his disciple. He did not believe himself debased by entering under the roof of a poor fisherman to teach us to violate all human pride. Sometimes he heals with his single word, and other times he also extends his hand, as on this occasion the sacred text says, "And he touched his hand." He did not always want to perform superabundant miracles. It was better for him to hide himself sometimes. By touching the body, he not only cured the fever, but also granted him complete health. When the disease was curable, in the way of curing it manifested its power, doing what medicine cannot do, that is, restoring at the same time complete health. So the evangelist, understanding this in this way, says, "And rose up and served them." It seems that the prophet rather said this, referring to sins. How, then, has the evangelist understood it about diseases? Because either he wanted to adapt that testimony to history, or to show that many illnesses recognize the sins of souls as their cause, and that death itself recognizes sin as its beginning. Tomorrow I return with another gospel, that of the feast of Saints Peter and Saints Paul. See you there.